Safadine, and I'm here gonna present to you Roman architecture and what I want to talk about in my research paper. Okay, so start off, what is the topic of your paper and what is the time period? What else was going on in the world history at this time? So I'm gonna be discussing Roman architecture in both ancient and Empire Rome, and the time period I'll be focusing on, which I believe Rome like flourished with new building methods and design, is from 380 BCE to 608 CE. All right, in this time period, we begin to see like the Western world start improving and building itself. All right. However, we also notice that around the Western world, there's like a lot of destructions happening due to wars being prevalent, and they happen every few years or so. All right. So as we talked about in class and stuff like that, like wars were happening like every couple of years, and a lot of like big cities, all right, like Rome was always raiding other people and trying to start wars, which is kind of insane. But yeah, um, don't get me wrong. Like even though there was like wars and stuff, architecture still lasts until this day from like the Roman period, and yeah, there's some that have been destroyed, but some still exist. Okay, so the timeline, all right, to the Roman architecture. All right, so we're gonna start off with 380 BCE, which is the Seven Hills. All right, we're gonna be rebuilding of Rome. All right, strong walls around the Seven Hills. Uh, it was founded. The original city was on a hill. The city itself was founded on April 21st, 753 BCE. Tribes were living on top of the hill. All right, and as you can see from the picture, I'm focusing on the wall that's happening around these seven hills. All right, which is the red outline. So yeah. All right, the Via Pia. Some of these I won't know how to pronounce. All right, so yeah, it was built in 321 BCE. It's famous. It's a famous Roman road. All right, and it's still a famous figure today. All right, this picture was taken recently. I'm pretty sure, like a few years back. The road was used for many strategic pushes in war. Alright, the Via Appia was also used as a trade route, considered one of the most important roads built in the Roman Republic period. Alright, um, the Aqua Appia was built in 312 BCE. It was Rome's first aqueduct constructed. Alright, it was 16 kilometers long, and it was built to be an aqueduct. The Jupiter starter, alright, was built 146 BCE. It was the first all Roman marble building constructed. Alright, the temple, it was a temple too. So yeah. So this temple was founded by the one and only King Romulus, I'm pretty sure. Romulus, pretty sure that's how you say it. After a pledge to build it during a battle between the Sabines and the Roman army. The Forum of Caesar. All right, so the Forum of Caesar took a while to build actually. All right, happened from 54 BCE until the 29th. All right, and it was constructed in Rome by Julius Caesar himself. All right, he requested that uh, as another area to conduct judicial businesses. All right, it's the best surviving of his monuments. All right, so I'm pretty sure he built like a few other monuments. It's just this is the like the only one I think surviving so far, or that survived. And then it was built and ultimately dedicated to his deeds. The form is obviously a rectangular shape. It's 115 meters long and it's surrounded by a wall. All right, so the Martis Baths. All right, it was the campus in Rome. It was constructed and donated to the people of Agrippa. Agrippa, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. It was a public-owned area in ancient Rome, which was considered to be one of the most populated areas. In my opinion, looking at this picture from like a iBird point of view, It really looks like a college campus. I don't know. It's just 'cause like it's big, has all the walls. It's like, there might be like a section, right? Maybe you could have traded in like the right part of the town, and then the left side was like all where the judicial stuff happened. All right, between 19 BCE and 80 CE, all right, there's a lot of things that happened. All right, so 19 BCE, the Ark of Augustus built in Rome to commemorate his victory over the Parthians. And then in 13 BCE, official inauguration of the threat of Hercules happened. Right, it wasn't really like a building. I just thought it was a important thing to be included. So yeah. And then 50 CE, it was the largest Roman aqueduct. Right, it was 49 meters high, completed in Point du Gard. And then 81 CE, the Ark of Titus is built in Rome's Forum Romanum to commemorate the conquest of Jerusalem. Between 113 CE and 203 CE, all right, um, Trajan's columns were constructed in Rome, and obviously it was constructed to commemorate the emperor's campaign in Dacia. 127 CE, the baths of Hadria, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, were completed, and then the Antonine baths at Carthage were completed in 162 CE. Alright, and then 202, the Septimus Severus, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, was built in Rome, formed to Romanium, to commemorate obviously the victories over the Parthians. Between all right, so this is the last slide about the timeline. All right, so between the 315 CE to 608 CE. All right, so there's like a big gap, but not much really happened after the 300s until 608 CE. All right, so 315, the Ark of Constantine was built in Rome to commemorate the victory over Maximinus in 312. All right, so it took them a couple of years to build. And then 380 CE, the Temple of Saturn is rebuilt in the form of monument, obviously, of Rome. And then 608 CE, I'm pretty sure like this was one of like most important ones, right? The Pantheon in Rome was converted to a Christian church, so a lot of like uh, religion like conversions happened, and so that's what caused it. So, I also want to talk about the methods of building real quick, just because my paper is going to be focusing a lot about like how the building started, and then how they ended off, and how their impact on today's architecture. So, Roman construction is famed for the use of concrete, which was composed of mortar and aggregate, and then the concrete walls of buildings were all covered with either brick or stone, which gives all the buildings built during the time the character of a Roman architecture building. It's pretty easy to tell which building was Roman. All right, even today, if you see pictures, it's pretty simple to tell which buildings are Roman. All right, and then glass was a very important addition to the buildings. All right, I include it as a method of building because obviously it was really big. You have your normal glass, but the Romans developed glass making skills, and they created the blown glass. All right, which brought like new shapes, designs, and colors. As you can see, I have a picture right there about one of the examples. So, another question. Why was your topic important? What were the consequences of your topic? All right, so I said my topic is important because it showcases the progression of the Roman architecture from the beginning with small homes to the emperor temples, as we talked about in the timeline. Also showcased the economical status of Rome, right? Because Rome started off with like building like mud house, I'm pretty sure, and like they ended off using materials like marble. So it just showed how their economical status like changed over the years. I also believe that my topic is very important because it showcases how Roman architecture has influenced buildings that we see in our everyday life, like the White House. All right, it has a lot of features from the Romans, and then architecture back in the old Roman times didn't only matter because design. Uh, oh yeah, oh yeah. So the architecture back in like the Roman times didn't really matter. Like they didn't focus a lot about the designs, but like they had many different uses, such as like the bridges where you could have crossed like the waters from one side to one side easily. Right, so it was like definitely good trade routes and stuff like that. I for the consequences, I didn't really find any consequences about my topic just because I'm discussing the evolution and impact of Roman architecture on modern time, and not really focusing about like a war or something like that. So really not that much on the consequences side. And then how did contemporary people think about your topic? All right, so I believe, obviously we don't know, but I believe the contemporary people most likely thought differently than what we think about architecture. They thought that their buildings were not good looking, all right, especially since their living conditions from the start were made out of mud homes. I mean, they were made out of mud or wood, so they didn't really appreciate what they created, right? And especially knowing that they didn't have half the technology that we have today, like not even like a percent, right? The technology we have today. Pretty insane in my opinion, but I don't think they knew. So then the next slide is what are the most important sources you have on your topic, all right? And then I said the most important source that I used was the timeline of the Roman architecture because it basically gave me the most important buildings and their time period, and that's what I used for my timeline. All right, so that's the citation right there, and yeah, that's where I got my timeline from. How do you think how do people today think about your topic? All right, so I said uh, people today think about my topic way differently than what the Romans thought. Our thinking about Roman architecture has evolved greatly as we look at those buildings built centuries ago and see their impacts on buildings today, all right, in our everyday life. And just thinking about it without like any technology advancements that they have, it's really impressive. It's really impressive. And as I said before, you can definitely tell which buildings were Roman and which buildings are not. All right. People nowadays look at Roman designs as art, in which they interact with almost every day. For example, the columns built in houses were created by Romans centuries ago, and Roman architecture has definitely evolved from the start and impacts today's architecture greatly. So this is my references for all the images. As you can see, I put the slides and then I put the references, Chicago style, obviously. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you guys did enjoy.